Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Now, my friend, I have been watching and I'm waiting, and I hope that before I'm called to that whatever the heck the next phase of existence is, I hope that somebody breaks through and says, okay, once and for all, here it is. This is it. This is it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made contact. Imagine one day, just today, imagine breaking news. What stories would disappear immediately if you said verified extraterrestrial, intrastellar, EBE, extraterrestrial, biological entity, whatever, contact has been made. This is a picture of the craft. This is a picture of the operator. We're going live to the Pentagon with the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they have confirmed this. Ladies and gentlemen, your government is here to say once and for all that contact has been made. We are not alone. Here is what one version, by the way, there could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of versions of this life, but here it is. I don't know what it would look like. I don't know what it would appear to be like. Now, answer me this. How many stories would immediately disappear from the quote headlines? Think about that. Remember, contact is made. Legitimate. Not just pretend, not some poor farmer in a double wide in a farm in Arkansas, but actual military, government, whatever you want to say. What would be off the charts immediately? What stories would pale by comparison? What would happen to, what would, for example, what would midterm elections look like? What would the vector of this country be? Well, let me tell you what we are now learning. And this is being circulated. And one of the things that you have to understand is that when you go online or you go beneath the regular headlines, you have to be able to discern what's real, what's not, because more often than not, people will try to fool you, whether it's misinformation, disinformation, data information, who knows. But the infamous Tic Tac UFO spotted and tracked in 2004 by the USS Nimitz and F-18 fighter pilots has been confirmed, allegedly, to be a Lockheed Martin craft dubbed CL-957 second generation. According to this, and you can go online, you can go to my Twitter. I keep calling it Twitter. It's X at Lionel Media. There's a picture of it. It was developed in the year 2003, allegedly, and uses an exotic propulsion system that canceled the effects of inertia and can, quote, vector gravity. It was test flown, they allege, in Nevada and Utah test sites and was demonstrated in the Pacific to an unwitting crew of fighter pilots on the Nimitz in 2004 and off the coast of California. Listen to the craft can operate underwater, in the air, and in space. It was developed for quick reaction missions and deep penetrating surveillance missions. Now, I'm not sure whether this leaked information is true, but if this is true, if we have the ability to travel almost at the speed of sound underwater, which kind of doesn't make any sense, and if we have the ability to completely fly, to activate propulsion, not by regular jet fuel or the usual types of materials, but through warping and tweaking time-space. And let me rephrase this. And if jet fuel is unnecessary, if propulsion is completely, talk about carbon neutral, my God, there's nothing. If you can go at or near the speed of light, if you can create your own inertia, meaning you can take these right turns without having your guts splayed on the walls of this craft, do you know what this would mean for the petrodollar, for the world? Stop for a second. What would happen to the headlines? What would happen to politics? What would happen to issues? What would go by the wayside? How important, think about this, would Hillary Clinton be, or President Trump, or vaccines, or the Middle East, or anything, if this were the story today? What would happen? People wouldn't be running in the street rioting. People wouldn't be, in fear like we've always been told. What would happen would be that everything that we had in terms of priority would just disappear. Disappear. Imagine trying to explain why perhaps a grainy photo of, let's say, Epstein standing next to Stephen Hawking would matter now, when just released to us is this craft that was real. This absolute positive truth. What would Neil deGrasse Tyson say? What would people like the great Carl Sagan, the gatekeepers, the ones who were there always to say, no, there's no evidence of this. No. We know most of these things, it's swamp gas or it's the Venus. What would they say?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.